Yo, see what up, man? What up? Yo, you can't keep the L, right? Cause I play strictly for the W, that's how champs do. No emotion like a wild when I'm focused. I stay ready, train and go cause I'm a pro. There's no off season. I'm LeBron like on the mic, MJ status. I can hear two about the opposition, all I know is hit 'em. I'm so disrespectful. There's nothing you can do about it. My dominance reigns supreme like peace on top of everything. I bring the noise, plus put you on pause and punish the strong as well as the weak. I'm Mike MC amongst the elite, and I roll with a championship circle. You don't believe me? Sit down, let's talk about it with my man Cordell Bell. Yeah, clap it up for him.
Welcome to another episode of Championship Circle. Like always, I'm bringing you another special guest. Go on and introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. My name is Jeremy Atkinson, former pro player overseas. I played overseas a couple of years. I also played in the NBA G-League. I went to college at UNC Asheville, and right now I'm currently coaching at Greenfield School. I'm the assistant coach under the legend Rob Salter.
Okay, and tell them where you from. What town you from?
I'm from a small town called Elm City. If you blink, you might miss us coming from Wilson to Rocky Mount. It's a little small town. Like I said, if you blink, you definitely miss us. But I love it though.
Oh yeah, and see, I know about that because I'm from Weldon. So yeah, Weldon, a little bitty town, like you said. You blink, we got like 2 stoplights.
Yeah.
If you blink, you'll miss it.
We have 1 stoplight. We have a grocery store, and we have 2 gas stations.
Okay, as an athlete, could you tell them what high school you went to?
I went to Wilson Fike. I went there from I graduated in 2009. I played varsity basketball 4 years. I did football my senior year 1 year. And I played tennis 3 out of the 4 years. So I just try to stay busy throughout my whole high school career because, if you nowadays with, kids not just when they get bored, that's when they tend to do something. So I stayed busy throughout my high school career, and that's kind of what helped me get to, the next level.
And see, growing up in a small town, you got to keep busy because, like you said, it's so many distractions out there.
Yeah, and I would say, the guys that, that being, I guess, the guy that was everybody knew in the city that was good at the sport, basketball, which was my sport. The guys that were doing the wrong things, they treated me like, hey, you can't do this. Like we're gonna make sure you get out of here. You're the one, so you can come help us, get out. And that's what a lot of guys. I heard this when I was playing in Texas and around here with guys that actually played overseas in pro ball, and they would tell them, growing up in little small neighborhoods, the guys that I guess they would be like the OGs of the neighborhood would try to get that one guy and then make sure, hey, don't nobody mess with him, and let him, go on and try to basically do what they didn't do.
And see, it's always, like you said, the OGs, they seen some in you. They seen your potential. And I think right now, that's what we lacking. Like, really, the OGs now, like the youth that's growing up in this generation, the OGs trying to turn them into that dope boy or, you can get this fast money, come work for me. But back then, like you said, it was more protection. Like, nah, you getting out of here. I don't want you like me.
If you come through Elm City, like I said, it's small. You would see me in the backyard most of the time, 24/7. I wake up, I eat breakfast, I'm outside. I come back in, I watch, some basketball, eat again because I'm always eating. I'm right back outside. I'm right back outside. I'm outside 24/7 to the sun. It gets dark, and I'm just shooting in the backyard.
So on that note, how long have you known that you wanted to play basketball?
I started, and I would say I'm a late bloomer. I started probably around 6 years old, like first or second grade, 7 years old, and that's when I was like, I like this, I like this game. I love this game right here, and I wanted. So my favorite, player growing up was Allen Iverson. So I was at the time he was like flashy, and he was the guy that I think he changed the league as far as the I guess the style, the cornrows and just the swag with it.
That was my favorite player too.
Yeah, so I grew up, just watching him, and he played hard. And I mean, he's the smallest guy on the court, but at the same time, he got the biggest heart. And I try to like mimic him outside, and I would just go. I would watch it, then I would go outside and try to do some of his moves.
Yeah.
As I got older, my favorite it went from Iverson to D Wade, and then right now it's Kyrie, even though he's kind of a little crazy, but he still can put that ball in the hole.
Yeah, Kyrie said the world flat, so
yeah, I couldn't say nothing to that. I don't know. The man's walking around lighting.
Sage.
I don't know. Yeah, in the arena. So he's adding on to the COVID cleaning crew, I guess.
And speaking of COVID, how do you feel about COVID in sports in 2020?
It's to me, I mean, it's something. I look at it as it's something. Everybody has to go through it. I mean, it's not just one state. It's not just this team. It's everybody, and it's just you have to deal with it. To me, it's like following rules. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to put your seatbelt on when you're in the car. You should. But for us to play right now, we have to wear a mask. Yeah. And if you don't wear a mask, I mean, you can complain all of us if you want, but we have no say so to that. So if you want to play, just put the mask on and play like everybody else. But I mean, it's just you gotta right now to play. You gotta follow these certain rules to do it if you want to play. And that's how it is with pretty much everything now do with COVID. If you need to go in this grocery store, just put your mask on. You just got to follow the rules. And that's why I've been trying to get the guys at school now. It's just, just to comply, like just make life easy.
Yeah. And I agree with that because, like you said, just follow the rules. You hear them say, mask up when you go out. Now you got people, they 50 or more at the party, ain't nobody got a mask on. But if 5 people at the party get COVID, now they blaming the next person. No, it was your fault.
Yeah. We've been telling the guys, take care of yourself, not only for basketball purposes, but at the same time when you're home too, so we can keep the season moving. Because we already went in quarantine one time. Mm-hmm. And a lot of teams now are starting to, go in quarantine, and that's putting a lot of work on the ADs, canceling games and trying to reschedule games. So it's been this year's definitely, this past year has been tough. And right now it's still, like I said, COVID haven't went nowhere. It's still here.
No.
And like you said, you see it in the pros, the NBA, the NFL, colleges, canceling, postponing games. It's everywhere. Mm-hmm. But I feel like this year, this past year and this year, athletic directors are definitely working.
They got their job cut out for them, and I know, like college football definitely like had their work cut out for them because they, like Ohio State, they missed the first 4 games, I think.
Yeah, and a lot of teams are mad because they made the Final Four, but they only played, I think, maybe 5 or 6 games. Where you had teams that actually played
10.
Yeah. Which I understand that from the other team's point of view. But at the same time, like you can't do nothing about it, so just deal with it.
Yeah, it's part of the new rules.
Yeah, like
just like the bubble, the bubble.
Texas A&M, they didn't get in the Final Four, but hey, you can't change it. And it's like with basketball, I always like to change everything in the basketball, especially for the guys so they can see it. If the referee make a call, that's it. Like there's no change. Now, obviously in the NBA or college, they got replay, but that's only for certain calls. But once the ref call a foul on you, that's it. Or a travel, yeah, that's it. No need to argue. No need to act crazy. throw up your hands. That's it. Just on to the next one.
And you talked about you went to UNC Asheville. How
Yes,
was your career there in basketball?
All right. Well, Steve, after I left Fight, I actually took another route, which is unusual for a lot of people in this area, which nobody actually. I think it's one other player I know that I think went JUCO, but I went to Lewisburg College for 2 years, and then I went to UNC Asheville. I transferred in as a junior, and my career there was. I actually did some good homework as far as picking the school, going there obviously for academics, and far as basketball, that was the perfect role for me. One senior had graduated, and I basically came in and took his role, and then the rest of it was just, it was history.
And see, when you said you did your research on the school, that's why I think a lot of young players coming out of high school, they don't do their research. They just go for, okay, I'm going to Chapel Hill, I'm going to Duke. But if you a point guard and Chapel Hill already got 4 top point guards already going there, what's your odds?
You could be sitting down.
Unless
you is, putting in work and competing for a spot. But other than that, even when you're competing and those other 3 guys are competing too, everybody can't get on the court.
No,
and that's
they
why
can't.
You gotta do your homework. And that's why you see a lot of the transfers, and now with the NCAA granting them one free transfer. And then, after the first one, you got to sit out. But to me, I think you should just go ahead and do your homework first. Now, if of course you get there, everything it's not gonna be like it is. The coaches they come to your house, they're nice and all that, but then once you get on campus, the coaches are different. But it's their job though. Yeah, but it's their job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But a lot of players now can't. They wouldn't be able to take some of the coaches that are coaching at the next level, whether it's D1, D2, or D3, because a lot of them from their high school coaches are laid back. But then when they get to the next level, those coaches don't care. That's their job. So they putting the best 5 out there. Mm-hmm. They're putting whoever's on the bench. They putting those guys in there to replace the starters, and they don't care what anybody else is saying except for their coaching staff.
And I'm gonna tell you a perfect example of that. Roy Williams, the last game Carolina played, he benched Leaky Black, he benched Caleb Love and Garrison Brooks. He benched them like they didn't start. Why? Because he said the game before they played with poor performance.
Yes, and yes, that's life though. You do that if you work in a regular job. If you're not doing something, your supervisor, whoever, your boss, they're gonna let you know. You might get penalized, whether it's money or you might get, fired. But I can understand that. And a lot of fans are probably mad. Why are you doing this? You got top players. Well, if I don't do it, they're gonna keep doing the same thing over and over.
And then you got a point guard like Caleb Love who got all of this. He already got he going top 5 around him. So his mentality to Roy is, well, I'm gonna get out here and play like I want to play. Cause I might be gone this year anyway.
So that's when you got to pull them back. Hey, since you want to do your thing, let's go have a seat over here. And until you try to play, in the system with the team, you just sit over there, and watch the game.
You got to humble them.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like a lot of these guys, when they do go off to the next level, they do get humbled because you kind of forget about some of them. Some of them make it and stay obviously in the league, but then a lot of them either go to the G-League or they, go overseas, and then you just kind of forget about them until you see them like in the summer league or, they might pop back over here in the league for like a 10-day contract or something like that. But it's different. And it's only a certain amount of people that can make it to the next level, whether it's D1, D2, D3. And then that next percentage to the league is like a handful.
Oh, yeah. And
so you have to do something special in high school to get the college coach. And then that next level, everybody's good at college. So you have to do something basically at an elite level to get the pro scouts to look at you.
And
with all that being said, you got to have a work ethic, and you got to want to work. But if you don't want to work, don't be surprised at what the results you get.
Oh yeah, and that's what a lot of these young guys coming out thinking like, oh yeah, I'm already, you know what I'm saying, top ESPN, I'm in the top 10 ranking already. Like I ain't got to put in the work.
So I was listening to you and Ant podcast.
Yeah, shout out to Ant, man.
Yeah, Ant, yeah, hey, he still can go.
Yeah,
I remember I came back a couple of times from overseas, and he was, he basically was. I mean, even when Kobe was at Greenfield, Ant could still go. And I'm sure it was his height, but
yeah,
to me, I think if he just would have got the opportunity, he would have made a lot of noise. But and that's how it is. Like, and he could have stopped and gave up, but you got to keep going.
Oh yeah.
But I was listening to it, and you're talking about the social media, and that's, to me, that's the difference between when I was coming up, when Ant was coming up, to now. A lot of guys, they basically play for social media.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Highlights.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna go out here and do this, so I can get these guys, to make a mixtape for me, so I can post it on IG or Twitter or whatever. But the thing is, the coaches don't care. I listen to Coach Moten from Central.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, dude, what's the highlight? It's all good clips of you making, dunking, or laying it up or crossing somebody over. That's not the game, though.
Nah.
Can you guard somebody? You don't make all your shots.
You got 4 quarters in the game, and they just show you 6 highlights.
Yeah, so he said he don't even look at highlights because they're highlights.
Yeah.
So what's the point of looking at that? Everything is going to be good of it. Now, if I watch some, a full game clip and I see, you're in help side, you talking on defense, you get in foul trouble, you don't pout, you run out to the sideline, you still engage with the game, you diving on the floor for loose ball, you taking charges, you just being a great teammate. And that's the thing. That's what college coaches be looking at. They look at the little things because they already got guys at the next level that can score. And the thing is, you might not be averaging 8 points for your high school team, but you still can go to the next level because they can see some potential in you, and that's their job to get you at the next level, and then work with you to the point where you, as a sophomore, junior, senior, now you're scoring averaging 12 or 15 points.
Like they can develop players if you let them.
A lot of the guys think I got to score 25, I got to score 30. Okay, you can do that, but guess what? If you get it to the next level, you're not going to be scoring 25 or 30 because they already got a bunch of guys that are the man there now. So you basically coming in unless you, and I said, unless you like a Zion, Kobe White, Anthony Davis, those got John Wall coming in immediately, and you're gonna make an immediate impact. You're gonna play. It's basically what it's been like for years. I don't know why everybody act like it has changed. You come in as a freshman. If you're good, you might play a little bit, but you got to learn the ropes from the upper class. And then at the sophomore year, you might start getting a little tick. And then by your junior year, you're playing some. And now senior year, you're the man, and you're teaching the younger guys the ropes like you did a couple years ago. And that's what it normally is now. But we see so many one and dones and transfers. It's almost like the loyalty is been shot. It's been basically shot with the one and dones, which I don't knock them for going, one and done. But that's why you see the levels of the Duke, the Kentuckys losing to schools like Davidson and Dayton, because they got guys that stay for 4 years. And then whether you have Duke, Carolina, they got guys that come in 1 year and
gone.
So it's kind of hard. It's hard to develop chemistry. So every year you got a new team, and they're young guys. They're not.
Yeah.
You might have a few years of seniors, but the rest of your team is predominantly freshmen.
Yeah, like Carolina team now. They like all freshmen. They got like 6 freshmen.
Yeah, but they're freshmen different, like Sharp and Kessler. And they're freshmen. They're 2 bigs off the bench are better than the big stars.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah, I like their 2 freshmen. No, I'm a Duke fan. I don't really like Carolina.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't like. I don't know why you like Duke, but
I mean,
hey, look. Speaking of Duke, I'm glad you brought up Duke. How do you feel about Coach K canceling the non-conference games? You know, Duke been canceling games back and forth. I mean, how you feel about that?
well, I know the women's already canceled their season.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see it from Coach K's standpoint. Like, I mean, the thing is, he said it from the get-go anyway.
Yeah, he did.
But and you know, a lot of people saying, you know, obviously probably people from Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
That he's saying that because they're losing. I'm like, well, Duke is not the only team losing. Carolina's losing. Kentucky losing.
We losing.
Yeah, everybody's losing, and that's the thing. The reason they're losing because you don't have that normal
practice and
that crazy environment with the Cameron crazy. So now it's basically it's practice. But
yeah, it's scrimmage. It's scrimmage.
Yeah, it's basically a scrimmage, but it's a real game, and it's tough because a lot of teams feed off the crowd.
Yeah, they do.
And, you know, having that ding dong empty with just a few staff workers from the game, it's tough. And then, you know, from parents too. I think parents get to come to the game, but that's not the same as having, you know, 60,000 people in an arena.
No, it ain't. And see, I think that's why we having so many blowout games in the NBA. Like teams losing by 40, 50 points every night now because it's like you said, their crowd ain't giving them that momentum to play no more. It's like they just out there.
Yes. I mean, Clippers lost by a lot, and then I just saw the Orlando Magic get blown out by the 76ers. Like it's different, but at the same time, you're getting paid. You got to play the game. No fans in there, or whether it's 25,000 fans in there, whether it's 200 fans, you still got to play.
And speaking of
every situation you get to play, you got to take advantage of.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad you said that. What was some of the challenges from UNC Asheville to get into the G-League that you encountered?
Oh, the G-League. I would say, being that UNC Asheville was a smaller school, I had to really work, and that's the thing I try to tell a lot of the players now. If I would have went to maybe like NC State, I wouldn't have to do as much. I wouldn't have to work as hard as I had to coming from UNC Asheville. So with me coming into Texas, playing for the Legends, which is the Mavericks G-League team.
You know, I'm a Mavericks fan.
Oh yeah, I had to prove to. I know I got drafted, but at the same time, even if you get drafted, you're still not guaranteed. You still got to go to training camp, and you still can get waived.
Oh yeah.
For the roster spot. So I had to go in there, and I basically did what I did my whole career. I play hard, and I do all the little things that nobody want to do, as far as rebounding, boxing out, diving on the floor, getting all the garbage points off of, it's rebounding.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that, and I could, I shot some, hit a couple threes, but I did all the little things that nobody wants to do, obviously at that level, because everybody wants to get to the league, and they forget about, all they care about is shooting, scoring. But they forget about, playing defense, taking charges, diving on the floor. So I did a lot of those things, and that actually caught the head coach eye, which was Eduardo Nahara, who actually played a lot with the Dallas. He played a lot for a lot of the NBA teams.
Yeah, I remember with Dallas.
Yeah, he was with the Mavericks, and he was with Denver, Boston, the Bobcats at the time. So he said I reminded him of himself when he played, because he did all the dirty work.
Yeah, he did. He was one of those gritty players.
Yes, you got Dirk Nowitzki. He's not going to be diving on the floor.
No, that's a legend.
Yeah, you got Steve Nash and a lot of those guys. Quick, Nick Van Ness. So those guys are not diving on the floor. So that's what he did. And he said, that pretty much reminded me. I reminded him of himself. So. That pretty much got me a roster spot, and I just went on with it. I kept doing what I know, and that's play hard and do whatever the coach tells me to do. Whether I got to guard a one or if I got to guard a big 6'8", 220, I don't care. Or 260, I guard him too. I just want to be on the floor. That's all I care about. Yeah. Whatever I got to do to get on the floor and and to make the to do whatever to make the team win, I'm cool with it. But I didn't have no problem coming off the bench. Like, a lot of guys think if you start, that's it. You got to start. No, you don't. Like, to me, I
you ain't got to start.
love coming off the bench. And the reason why, and I did it coming when I was playing travel ball some too. I played with CP3. I came off the bench. And I like coming off the bench because I get to see how the flow of the game is going.
Mm-hmm.
I get to see what this guy like to do, after a couple of possessions, his tendencies.
Yeah.
So now when I get in the game, I'm in there. Like, I know what you about to do, or I got a feel of how the flow is going. But a lot of guys think if they ain't starting, they're not really doing it. And I'm like, who cares about starting? I had a teammate in college. He got hurt. We played North Carolina. He hurt his knee. Jerome, he's from Greenville.
Okay.
He got hurt against Carolina. He had a nice game, 21 points, but he got hurt. And then after that, I started in his spot. And we played 2 more games after that. And the coaches was like, well, Jerron's, he's healthy. Do we go back with him, or do we keep what we got going on? We're rolling with him.
Mm-hmm.
And they just decided to stay with me and just keep him being that 6th man to come off the bench with a spark of offense. And the thing is, Jerron ended up finishing the game. Me and him both was on the court at the end of the game. And that's what I care about. And that's what I felt players, that's what the whole main thing is anyway, to finish the game.
Yeah,
yeah. That last 3 minutes of the game is crucial.
Cause you got them players that they love to be the 6th man, like Jamal Crawford. He's a known 6th man. Montrell Harrell, Tarbert, that's Tarbert, North Carolina. Dennis Struder. Like, these guys love to be the 6th man off Jason Terry. He was our 6th man off the bench since he been at Dallas. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
By you doing that, and like with Schroeder, now you don't turn yourself into a starter.
Exactly.
The situation, but he could have been like, man, I'm tired of coming off that. But basically worked his way. Hey, we got a starter. There's no way he coming off the bench on this team. You need to start. We put you with LeBron and AD. We're good. But yeah, it's just you got to work, and that's everything. You got to work.
And speaking of the NBA, how many NBA players have you actually met, like, personally?
I don't even know, to tell you the truth. I mean, when I was in the G-League, most of my team had already played in the league. I had one of those teams that were like all veterans, like Sean Singletary and Melvin Eli, Chris Douglas Roberts. Like, I had to do my rookie duties for him. Like, I had to basically carry his shoes around.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the road. I had to go get his, his lunch or whatever. Devin Ebanks. I had a lot of. Terrell Harris actually just he had won the finals with Miami with LeBron. So I had a lot of guys on my team that was, in the league or got drafted. Damian James that played at Texas.
Oh, yeah.
He was best friends with KD. Dorian Lamb played at Kentucky with Anthony Davis. So I knew a lot of guys that got drafted in the NBA and that played a couple seasons there. And the thing is, a lot of them just got hurt. Mm-hmm. Or a situation happened, but they were just trying to get back in there. So it was, when I was playing in Texas, it was basically nothing. Like, seeing my coach was obviously, he was a veteran player.
Yeah.
And next year, my second year, Nick Van Nelsel was the assistant coach.
Okay. Yeah, he was. He was.
I'm like, this is a legend right here. Then, I seen Spud Webb. He was part of the team. Okay. Nancy Lieberman, you know how she was with, as far as, women's basketball.
Because Spud still dunk. Did he dunk, man?
Spud said when I was there, Spud said he was about 10 years.
Come on now.
Spud said all he do is golf.
Wow.
He golf. He wake up early in the morning and golf. He'll tell you that too.
Yeah.
He'll tell you that. But I mean, just seeing those guys, I mean, you see them, the legends, clearly that they went with the team name. Just seeing, going around and they still doing it because they like to be a part of basketball. And they're just giving back to us, because at the end of the day, Coach Nahara didn't have to coach.
Oh, no.
He played enough years in the league that
he should have been good. He good.
Yeah, I don't need to try. I'm going to spend time with my kids and family. But, he was like, he loved the game, so he still wanted to be around it.
And I can understand it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and then playing against other guys, on different teams, that was good too. Like I watched Robert Covington come from the RGV Vipers to now playing with who was he with?
Portland.
He's Portland.
Yeah,
he would.
Portland.
Yeah, like I seen him go from G-League to Philly to Houston to where he at now in Trailblazers, and it's all about just working and doing what you at each destination. He had to do a certain role, and he did it, and that's why he's still playing in the league.
And he another gritty player. Like he don't give you 30 points, but he'll lock one of your best players down.
Yes, and then he's gonna knock the shot down because and that's how you stay in the league.
So what motivate you to keep going on and off the court?
I always had a chip on my shoulder. I love when, obviously, like what Ant said, you go in the barbershop, you hear people that, they talk to you, they talk good, but at the same time, you'll have a person in the barbershop that listen to both sides, and they'll come back to you later and say, man, such and such, he was saying this in your face, but at the same time, when you left, he said this. So me, it was all about just proving people wrong. Because when I came out of high school, I was actually going to NC State, or trying to go to NC State. They were talking to me, but that kind of fell through, so I was kind of in a bind, and I was almost about to go to Barton, right here in Wilson, a D2 school. But then the coach, John Meeks, came out of nowhere, and he was at Lewisburg, and that's when I ended up going there because I still, my goal was to play Division I, and he was like, if you want to, this could probably be your best route right here, and I took the JUCO route. It landed me, in Asheville. But when I got to Asheville, I marked the game NC State on the calendar. Every time we played, I marked it. My junior year, we lost by 7. They were a good team. Lorenzo Brown and CJ Les. They had a nice team, Richard Howe. But my senior year, we lost by 2. And I try to tell you, I left everything out there on the court because I wanted to. Now, it wasn't that coaching staff that was recruiting me. But at the end of the day, it was still NC State. So I was still, all I saw was red anyway. And that's how I took it the whole season. Where every time I'm on the court, I feel like I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm trying to prove, either people back home, I'm trying to prove the coaches or people in the league or whatever, and wherever level I was at, that I could, I'm the player you want. I'm gonna play hard. I'm gonna give it all I got. You're gonna get with me. You're gonna get a player that, hey, whether it's 32 minutes in high school, whether it's 48 minutes in the pros, or whether it's 40 minutes overseas, you're gonna get all I got for those times. But I just think just going up from a small town that added more like fuel to the fire for me because it's not much in Elm City. So when I got to Lewisburg, it was kind of a little bit better. Yeah. But it was me a home still. So when I got to Asheville, I'm like, oh my, I like this. And we had just opened up a new arena. I'm going to Puerto Rico and the Bahamas to play in preseason tournaments. But the thing is, I'm from Elm City. If some of my teammates knew where I came from, they were like, what?
We did it.
They're like, what's the nearest airport? What's the nearest city? I'm like, Raleigh. I got to say Raleigh. And they were like, where's that? I'm like, well, it's the capital of North Carolina. You got to know. But I'm actually like 40, 45 minutes away from that.
And that's how it is in a small town.
Yeah.
And Jeremy, I appreciate this interview, man. Appreciate you blessing this interview, man. And if it was one thing that you would leave the youth, what would you say to them?
I would tell them, you have to have tunnel vision. Right now, growing up with the era of social media, you can't be concerned about who liking your posts and this, because the coaches don't care about all that. Like if you would focus more on your game and developing skills and watching film and watching, to me, college basketball, not NBA but college, watch more college basketball and try to get better as a player, physically and mentally, and just leave that social media alone. A lot of players around this area would go places if they would just leave it alone. But instead, they like to listen to, the people in the background. The people in the background, they're not going to be there all the time. Like the people in the background for me are gone now. They've been gone. And so when you go to the next level, them people in the background gone. So you've been listening to people for no reason.
Yeah.
Just because they were closer to you. But now when you go to the next level, you ain't going to hear them no more. Now you got people now that's in your corner because they're fans of you at that school. So I would just tell them, just basically get tunnel vision and almost don't listen to the outside noise. Just listen to your coaches and, your family. And then sometimes family can kind of hurt the player too, because everybody's thinking their kid, obviously the best at playing the sport. But at the same time, I think some of the parents got to understand if such and such kid is better, there's nothing wrong with that. You just got to adapt to playing beside this person or develop your game more so you'll be just as good as your teammate. To me, it's just too much. Everybody want their kid to be the best. No, we want everybody to be good. But if they're all good, that's where the coaches can come regardless. And when they come check this player out, they can't, hey, this guy over here is getting every rebound. They can't not see that. So if I'm taking advantage of it, if I got a teammate that's getting looks by schools, because when they come look at him, guess what? They got to see me.
Oh, yeah.
You got to see me too. Like you can't miss me. So to me, I just tell the youth, you got to have a work ethic, because that's what coaches look at. And they look at you right now with the COVID. A lot of the schools have the cameras that we've been watching online. They've been streaming games. And so I tell them, you don't know who's watching. Like it could be a college coach sitting way in California, and it could be some overseas scout sitting over there in Europe looking at you, but you don't know because you don't know who's watching the live stream. But at the same time, they're looking at how you act when you're on the court, how you act when you get subbed out, how you act when a ref calls a foul. Like they look at all those little things, and that could hurt you. And sometimes if you do it the right way, and it can also help you. So I would just say that you just work. Don't think everything's gonna be handed to you, because it's not. And those highlights and all that, yeah, that's good to have back in when you get older, but that's not gonna get you to that next level. Yeah. You need more highlight. And if they don't believe me, listen to Coach Lavelle from Central, North Carolina Central. He'll tell you. He don't even look at those. He don't even know what a highlight is. What is that?
And on that note, Jeremy, once again, thank you for blessing my podcast, man.
No problem. I appreciate it.
And we're gonna get back up, man. Like I told Ant, man, we can get up and start something for the youth around here, cause that's what they need, man.
Oh yeah, I'm always down with that. I mean, that was my goal when I finished playing. I wanted to come back and hopefully get somebody like a small town to come through and go basically travel the world like I did with that round ball. That round ball took me a lot of places.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, I had to do my schoolwork first. You can't. You're a student athlete first, so a student comes first. So you got to take care of the classroom if you want to bounce that ball.
And see, that's the words of wisdom. So for the youth out there listening, do your work first.
Yes, I don't care if it's virtual or if it's in person. You still got to do it.
You got to do it.
Oh yeah.
So Jeremy, on that note, man, Happy New Year.
You too.
Stay blessed, man. Stay safe, man. And until next time, man.
Yes, sir.
And we out.
Appreciate it.
All right.
All right.